Well, as Harry said, no need to tell you where Dermot O'Brien is now, music-wise. But sports-wise, Dermot, if you hadn't been a Louth player, who would you have liked to play with and why?
Well, I'll answer the second question first. Why? I have always been an advocate of the use your brain football, you know. For that reason, I would imagine I'd like to have played with either the Dublin 55, 6 team, the Down team, or the Cavan or Meath teams of the late 40s. For preference, I'd say the Meath 49 team.
You would like to play with the Meath 49 team. By the way, in case the listeners are wondering why you're breathless, you're having a little Saturday evening workout of exercise. Still very keen, obviously. Well, if you hadn't played Gaelic, Dermot, any other game you would have liked to have a go at?
I must be honest, I would have liked to have played soccer, again, because you must use your brain in soccer. Not to say that you haven't to use it in Gaelic, but brawn is of little use, really, in soccer, and for that reason, I think I would have liked to play soccer.
Well, obviously you came up against many great men in your time, great centre half-backs, great wing half-backs. Would you like to name, say, the 2 or 3 greatest ones?
Yes, quickly to mind comes Sean Murphy of Kerry. I played my first All Ireland semi-final against him back in '53, and he didn't give me a kick of the ball. But I think for all-round sportsmanship, ability, and clean play, everything, real gentlemen and wonderful players, I couldn't differentiate between Paddy Driscoll of Cork and Jerry O'Malley of Galway.
Of
Roscommon, I beg your pardon.
Other great players, you're talking there about brain, so obviously many great players like the Purcells and the McKiggans must have appealed to you. Who most of all?
I must go for Purcell. I mean, all-round strength, both feet, fisted pass, brains, everything. I think he was a complete footballer.
Had you any regrets from your football career, Dermot?
I have. I would like to have won a Railway Cup medal. That's the only one.
Now, you play with St Mary's RD, which was one of the great beds of Louth football. Great names like the Bells, the Markeys, the Boyles and O'Briens. What's happening in club football like RD now that we can't have this again?
I don't know. Well, there's a very fine minor side in RD. I don't know what's gone wrong. I think it's this modern trend. When I was starting 15 years ago, or a bit more, as a young lad of 17 or 18, it was nothing to see in St Mary's Park in RD. 30 players on the field at night, 2 full teams, full at it. Go up now, the field is deserted. I think it's these old show bands that may be doing some of the damage, and television, too much money in young people's pockets, other attractions, all this modern life we're now living in. I think young fellas, unfortunately, don't go to the fields.
No, you mentioned there about show bands. That's a coup. How much part did music and how much part did sport play in your life?
Well, I'd say up to about a couple of years ago it was half and half, but now, of course, it's strictly music. I don't even get to Croke Park very often. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen the Louth senior team playing since I stopped playing 7 years ago.
Really?
Really, I just can't seem to get to see them. They're either in Drogheda when I'm playing in Tralee or something, or in Croke Park and I'm in Killarney, or way down the south of Ireland somewhere, Cork. I haven't seen them anyway in 7 years.
Would you do it all over again, the sports-wise anyway?
I would, yes. Oh, no regrets. It was wonderful, and made some wonderful friends and had some wonderful experiences.
Many people say, of course, if you can cast your mind back the 10 years, that Louth were rather lucky to win 57.
No, I think I always get annoyed when I hear this, because I make no bones about saying that the Louth team were a very fine side. We were lucky in the All-Ireland final, but remember that there was a semi-final before that. There was a Leinster final before that, and there were 3 matches before that again. We couldn't have been lucky in all matches. We had a slice of luck, and God knows we deserved it after 43 and 48 and 50.
Dermot, coming back to 57, there's a little story about you not being able to get in or get out or something in Croke Park. Would you like to tell us it?
Well, in the Louth, one of the Louth, no, it was in the semi-final against Tyrone. I had a fall and came down on my left hand with my arm rigid, and I shot something in my, I think a rotator cuff, the orthopedic man called it. And at any rate, I couldn't lift my arm over my shoulder right up to the morning of the game, and I had a pain-killing injection, which was a closely guarded secret. But the surgeon was rather late, and by the time I got to Croke Park, the gates were closed.
What did you do then?
I went round to tell a few fellas at the gates who I was, and a few of them didn't believe me. And some young guard at one of the gates interceded for me, and eventually I managed to get in.
How much time had you to spare at this stage?
I had 10 minutes to spare to strip and everything, just as well because I had no pre-match nerves. I was too busy getting into the field.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you were to have this little game that you're playing has restarted, Dermot, so we'll let you go back to it in just a moment. When I ask you this, if you were to name the great men who appeal to you in sport, not necessarily Gaelic football, who would they be?
Oh, I don't know. I just can't think of anything offhand.
Eusebio, maybe?
Eusebio, yes, a wonderful ball player. Joe Lewis always appealed to me, maybe when I was a young lad, you know. Joe Lewis was the heavyweight champion of the world, a very well conducted heavyweight champion, and he stood for all that was best in boxing, everything. I really had great admiration for Joe Lewis, or whatever you like to call him.
If you were to give advice to a young man who maybe today is toying with the idea of going into a show band and also toying with the idea of being a serious footballer, what would it be, the advice?
Well, I don't know. It would be very hard, Jimmy. There is nothing like the game, sport, for keeping you mentally, physically fit. But show band business can be very rewarding, but it can be very, very frustrating. Very, very wearying, very tiring. Just when you seem to be getting somewhere, you're thrown back 3 or 4 steps, and it's really very tough game. Even worse now than when I started.
It is a little tougher than All Ireland final.
Oh, it's slightly tougher, yeah.
Dermot O'Brien, thank you very much for speaking to us, and back to you again. We're going to continue on playing one sort of sport or another for a while. Huh?
Oh yes, Jimmy, yes, certainly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jimmy.